True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report.
Hey, Dodger Nation! Welcome back to your exclusive Dodgers news channel where you get the analysis that truly matters. Before we dive deep into what's happening in Chavez Ravine, if you're not already part of our community, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Things are heating up with the trade deadline approaching, and you won't want to miss any breaking information. I'm your host, and I'm here to bring you the inside scoop, the conversations, and the serious analysis you expect. Let's get straight to it, because the news that has shaken our fan base over the past week has been the Max Muncy situation. We all saw the play on July 2nd against the White Sox, Michael A. Taylor sliding headfirst into third base. From the broadcast angle, it looked like a routine play that went horribly wrong. We saw Muncy go down clutching his knee, and the heart of every Dodgers fan stopped for a moment. The sight of him on the ground, with the training staff surrounding him, was one of those moments where you fear the worst. The initial report was a bone bruise, with a timeline of at least 6 weeks out, which in itself is a tough blow. But what I've learned and what Muncy himself revealed is just how close we came to absolute catastrophe. Muncy said, and these are his words, "If the timing difference is just a millisecond off, you're probably looking at surgery and you're done for a long time." Let's let that sink in. 1 millisecond. That's the margin that separated our starting third baseman from a season-ending injury, possibly requiring a full knee reconstruction. This isn't just a bone bruise, it's a dodged bullet. Luck in the midst of misfortune was on our side. Losing Muncy for 6 weeks is painful, but losing him for an entire year? That would fundamentally alter our team's championship aspirations. To fully understand the impact of Muncy's absence, we need to contextualize the kind of season he was having. Remember April? It was a struggle. Fans were frustrated, analysts were questioning if age was starting to catch up to him. But then, on April 30th, something clicked. He hit his first home run of the season, and it was as if a switch had been flipped. From that day until the injury, Max Muncy wasn't just a good hitter, he was one of the most dominant forces in baseball. We're talking about a 989 OPS. That isn't just an all-star number, that's an MVP candidate number. He became the anchor in the middle of our batting order, providing crucial protection for the likes of Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani. His plate discipline, combined with his renewed power, made him a nightmare for opposing pitchers. He was on his way to a well-deserved All-Star game nod as a reserve, a testament to his turnaround and his value to this club. The injury not only took him out of the Midsummer Classic, but it left a gaping hole in the heart of our lineup. And the immediate results told the story, a 7-game losing streak. That's not a coincidence. It's the direct consequence of removing such a vital piece from the machine. Without Muncy, the pressure on Mookie Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman increases exponentially. The depth of our lineup is tested, and opposing pitchers can navigate our big three with a little more ease, knowing the immediate threat behind them has been neutralized. It's a ripple effect that impacts the entire offensive philosophy of the team. The absence of a player of Muncy's caliber goes beyond the box score. It's about the clubhouse presence, the veteran mentality, and the edge he brings. He's one of the emotional leaders of this team, a fierce competitor who plays with a chip on his shoulder that inspires his teammates. Losing that voice and that attitude on the field and in the dugout during a critical stretch of the season is an immeasurable blow. The team looked visibly shaken in that series against the White Sox and the ones that followed. The confidence seemed to dip, and the offense, once relentless, suddenly looked vulnerable and inconsistent. Yet, in the face of this adversity, a narrative of resilience emerges, led by one of the most underrated players on our roster, Miguel Rojas. When Muncy went down, the responsibility of filling in at the hot corner fell largely on Rojas' shoulders. And to be frank, expectations were modest. Rojas is known primarily for his elite glove, a defensive wizard who can play anywhere on the infield. His bat, historically, has been serviceable, but rarely a source of consistent offensive production. But since July 3rd, Miguel Rojas isn't just filling a spot, he's playing like an all-star. Since taking over, he has posted a 145 WRC+. For those unfamiliar with the metric, that means he's been 45% better than the league average as a hitter. His OPS in that span is 885, and he's tied for the team lead in home runs with 2. This isn't just stepping up, it's a monumental leap. He has been a revelation, providing crucial hits from the bottom of the order and stabilizing the lineup at a time of desperate need. Tommy Edman, another Swiss Army knife acquired for precisely these scenarios, has also filled in. The front office vision of Andrew Friedman in prioritizing versatility and depth is being fully validated right now. They built a roster designed to withstand storms like this. Rojas' performance is a lifeline, giving the team breathing room while Muncy recovers. It's the personification of the next man up mentality that has been a hallmark of successful Dodgers teams. But even with Rojas' heroics, the question in the front office shifts from how do we survive to how do we ensure this doesn't derail us in October? And this is where the conversations get really interesting. Muncy's injury, as unfortunate as it is, serves as a catalyst. It exposes a potential vulnerability and forces the front office's hand to survey the trade market with an even greater sense of urgency. And according to my sources and what's circulating in well-connected circles, as reported by Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr on ESPN Los Angeles, the Dodgers aren't just looking to make a minor tweak. They're involved in discussions and whispers about a move that could shake the very foundations of the National League. The potential dance partner, the Cleveland Guardians. Now, let's break down the logic here. The Dodgers are obvious buyers. We're at the top of our division with our eyes firmly set on an October run and a parade through Los Angeles. Cleveland, on the other hand, is in an intriguing position. They are fading in the American League wildcard race and sit well out of first place in their division. They have elite talent under team control for multiple years, and this may be the perfect time for them to cash in and restock their farm system for the next wave. And the names that have been whispered are not rental players or depth pieces. We are talking about franchise cornerstones, Emmanuel Clase and Clase Kwan. Let's start with Emmanuel Clase. He isn't just a closer, he's arguably the best closer in baseball. A 3-time All-Star who led the entire MLB in saves in 2022 and 2023. His stuff is electric, centered around a cutter that touches 100 mph with devastating movement. Adding Clase to a bullpen that already features Evan Phillips would turn the end of games into an almost automatic event. The strategy would be simple and terrifying for opponents. If the Dodgers have the lead after the 7th inning, the game is over. The presence of Clase would allow Dave Roberts to deploy Phillips in high-leverage situations in the 8th or even the 7th without worrying about burning his only elite closer. It shortens the game and takes immense pressure off our starting rotation, which, as we know, has battled injuries all season. And the best part, Clase is only 27 years old and is under an extremely team-friendly contract through 2026 with club options for 2027 and 2028. This isn't a 2-month rental, it's a long-term investment in late-game dominance. Now, let's turn to Clase Kwan. If Clase is the force, Kwan is the finesse. He is the antidote to the modern strikeout-heavy era. An elite contact hitter with an incredibly disciplined strike zone and an ability to put the ball in play that is almost a lost art. He would not only hit for a high average, but will get on base at a prolific rate, making him an ideal candidate for either the top or bottom of our lineup. But his value doesn't end at the plate. Kwan is a Gold Glove winning left fielder. His speed, instincts, and roots to the ball are top tier. He would represent a significant defensive and offensive upgrade over what we currently have in left field with Michael Conforto. Imagine an outfield defense featuring Kwan in left, James Outman or Andy Pages in center, and Mookie Betts in right. The amount of ground that trio would cover would be staggering, saving runs and giving our pitchers even more confidence to attack hitters. Like Clase, Kwan is also only 27 and comes with years of team control, being arbitration eligible until he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2028. Together, Clase and Kwan represent an injection of elite, young, controllable talent that perfectly fits the Dodgers' 2 biggest areas of perceived need: a dominant bullpen arm and an impact outfielder. The prospect is mouthwatering. The thought of adding these 2 players to a core that already includes Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani is the kind of move that doesn't just make you the World Series favorite, but the favorite for the next 3 to 4 years. It's a master-level chess move. But every master move comes at a cost. And in this case, the cost is astronomical. This is where the conversation turns from the dream to the harsh reality of team building. To acquire two players of Clase and Kwan's caliber, both 27 years old with years of control, Cleveland isn't going to ask for a prospect package. They are going to demand the future of our organization. And the names being floated behind the scenes are enough to make any Dodgers fan pause. Let's talk about what it would take. Rojas, on his show, suggested a package that would start with talents like left-handed pitcher Justin Robleski and righty Ben Kasparius. These aren't just bodies, they are MLB potential rotation arms who are rising quickly through our system. But that would only be the beginning. The next name on the list is Josue De Paula, one of our top-rated outfield prospects, a young kid with 5-tool potential who many believe can become a star. And the talk doesn't stop there. To get a deal of this magnitude done, Cleveland would likely demand one of the crown jewels, catcher Dalton Rushing. Rushing is seen by many as the heir apparent to Will Smith, a left-handed power-hitting catcher with an advanced approach at the plate. He is the type of prospect that becomes a franchise cornerstone. And if that's not enough, other names have been thrown into the theoretical mix, showing just how deep the Dodgers would have to dig. Names like right-handed pitcher Dustin May, a proven MLB talent trying to come back from injury, or even fan favorite Hye-Seong Kim, whose versatility and energy have made him indispensable. Think about that. A package that could include Rushing, De Paula, Robleski, and perhaps another arm or positional piece. We would essentially be ripping the heart out of our farm system. We would be trading a decade of potential low-cost player control for a stronger championship window right now. This is the classic, agonizing Andrew Friedman decision, the present versus the future. It's the kind of trade that can define a legacy, for better or for worse. If we win multiple titles with Clase and Kwan, Friedman is a genius. If we don't, and these prospects become stars in Cleveland, it would be remembered as one of the great heists in recent memory. My analysis, based on what I'm hearing and how this front office operates, is that while the temptation is immense, the price may be simply too high, especially when it comes to pitching depth. With the injuries we already have in our rotation and bullpen, trading away several of our top pitching prospects like Robleski, Kasparius, or even a recovering May seems counterintuitive. The Dodgers' strength in recent years has been their ability to continuously develop quality arms in-house. To decimate that pipeline in a single deal is a massive risk. I believe a move for just one of these players, perhaps focusing on Kwan to solidify the outfield, could be more palatable and require a less devastating prospect package. But for both, it would require the Dodgers to be absolutely certain that this combination guarantees not just one, but multiple parades through Los Angeles. It's an all-in bet, and I'm not sure it's one Friedman is willing to make at this very moment. So this is where I turn it over to you, Dodger Nation. This is the conversation that's happening right now in the halls of Dodger Stadium. The Max Muncy injury opened our eyes to a short-term scare, but also a long-term opportunity to make a blockbuster move. The question is, do you pull the trigger? Do you trade the future, giving up names like Dalton Rushing, Josue De Paula, and valuable pitching arms for the chance to add Emmanuel Clase and Steven Kwan to our roster now? Do you trust that the current depth with Miguel Rojas and Tommy Edman is enough to weather Muncy's absence? Or do you go all in for a championship? Let me know what you would do in the comments below. I want to hear your GM perspective. This kind of news develops fast, and the deadline is coming. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss an update. I'll be back with more in-depth analysis as soon as I get more information. This is News Dodgers 3 Mil MLB signing off.